Hi, my name is Paul Boldy. I work as a project design and development consultant in the commercial and hospitality sectors. I'd like to welcome you to the third in a series of short videos introducing metric analysis for hotel investments and capital expenditure projects. This time I'll be focusing on the break-even analysis calculator that I've referenced in previous videos. I will also be making the Excel file for the calculator that I demonstrate in the video available to download at no cost. I will start with the blank calculator for the guest room break-even analysis. Firstly, we need to choose the analysis period. Now this can be a day, a week, a month, a year, or multiples of the same. I have chosen a 1 year period and entered a key count of 250 keys in this example, and an ADR of $100. The calculator has no specific unit of currency, so it's flexible, but I'm using dollars for reference. We now select the fixed cost input. The input can either be a total fixed cost, in which case the fixed cost per key will be calculated, or you can enter a fixed cost per key and the total fixed cost will be calculated. Here you can see I've entered a total fixed cost of $6 million, and the fixed cost of $66 per key is displayed. I'm using the example from the first video when I discussed a guest room renovation, hence the fixed cost may seem high, but maybe it reflects the increased capex spend, and the break-even analysis thus forms part of the case for renovation. We now enter the variable cost per key. This is basically the costs that are incurred whenever a room is occupied, i.e. housekeeping, consumables. The calculator will display the total variable costs aligned to the break-even occupancy, as well as a contribution margin per key. The contribution margin is the variance between the ADR and the variable cost, and is an important component of the break-even analysis. Fixed and variable costs are an obvious target for evaluation and sensitivity analysis to test various scenarios, but in the break-even analysis they should reflect the current position. We can now see the result of the break-even analysis with the number of rooms that are required to be sold per night, the break-even ADR, and the break-even occupancy, which reflects the key count per night. The information is also displayed graphically, with the break-even point highlighted. Here the information is displaying the 68,000 room nights over the 1 year period. The break-even analysis looks at the net position, which is the true break-even, but sometimes you need to assess a break-even considering a required margin. This section allows you to fine-tune the break-even analysis, considering profit margin. Here you can see a 20% margin will require a 95% occupancy to break even. Now we look at the same process for a restaurant break-even analysis. Again, you can choose the analysis period and enter the covers per day and the average cover charge. I have chosen a 1 week period here, but again this is flexible. I'm also using the information from the restaurant refurbishment example in the second video. Fixed cost input is selected. In this example I've chosen a fixed cost per cover to generate the total fixed cost. Again we set the variable cost per cover to obtain the variable cost and contribution margin. The break-even analysis displays the required covers per day, the break-even cover charge, and the restaurant capacity based on the covers. Of course this may not represent the actual restaurant capacity, as in this instance the covers per day are possibly well below the restaurant capacity. But here's another use of the break-even analysis to test capacities and provide a range of scenarios to develop operational variable cost plans. Again, the information is displayed graphically, and you can again review a position based on a desired profit margin. So again, I hope you found the information to be useful and that you can make use of the calculator to define your projects and improve communication and decision making. I will cover the remaining investment calculators in the suite in the final part of this series. Thank you again for watching.